Evening, boys.
Evening, Sally.
Welcome to The Chatting, your local pubcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Mark.
And I'm the other Mark. 3 pints, Sally. And what are you having?
I'll have a tequila sunrise.
Cheers. I'll fetch him over.
Evening, boys.
Evening, Rob.
Yeah.
How are we?
All right, yeah.
I'm good.
Good, yeah?
all
You all
good.
right, Mark?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No,
That's
I'm
not
not
good.
actually. I'm just gonna have a drink of this because I need to chill out a bit.
Oh.
He's turned up in a bad mood, hasn't he? By the sounds of
I'm
things.
intrigued. I'm
Well, yeah.
intrigued.
What's the matter with you then?
So I know you're not bothered, but I was on Ticketmaster this morning queuing for tickets for Liam Gallagher. Absolute farce.
What?
So I got on. I was online. The tickets were online at 9 o'clock, and it's the Definitely Maybe 30th anniversary. And I thought, do you know what? This is going to be banging. My daughter's getting into Oasis. I thought this is perfect. I love them. You know, it'd be absolutely spot on. So I thought I'll get on there early, 9:15, on the website, wait for the countdown, and then so I was sat there watching the clock ticking away. Got to 9 o'clock. Thought, right, here we go. Boom. Came up and I got something like 4 or 5 options for different car park tickets. And I was like, what is this? And I instantly were like, no. It cannot have sold out already. It's
One second. How many computers, laptops, phones have you got on this process at this moment in time?
I was only using one.
Okay.
I was only using one
Right.
because what I didn't want to do is throw any spanners in it because you logged in. I didn't want to throw any spanners in the works.
Nice and simple.
Cause
Yeah.
any problems. So I thought, right, I'm sticking to what. And anyway, so I'm like, what's going off here? Where are the tickets? So I'm looking at it for a couple of minutes. I'm thinking, they're going to drop in. They're going to drop in. No, they're not. And it turns out, I think on the outside page, there must have been an option. When you click on Liam Gallagher and the date, you can click on 4 or 5 actual headers, but they're underneath each other. Anyway, so I click back on. Oh, there we are. Tickets. Clicked on it. How many in the queue am I?
I'm going to say something like, what?
What time was this by
For
now?
Sheffield. No, it's probably 3 minutes past 9.
About 10,000 in queue.
So bearing in mind, Sheffield Arena is 12, something like 12,500 cap.
Yeah,
well,
200,000.
I was 24,000th in the queue.
Yeah.
20, something like 24,607. I'm like, what? 3 minutes past 9.
He's fuming, isn't he?
I was like, this is just ridiculous. I'm on on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I'm looking and I'm like, what's going on? I'd been on there before because I was like, what's going on with the tickets? Because I thought, why are they on a car park tickets as it sold out? So straight away, I jumped straight on there because you get a live feed of everything that's going off. There's people on there already selling tickets. DM me for tickets. And somebody commented on there, via GoGo, we're selling tickets for 300 quid a chuck.
What, by like 5:09 or
Absolutely.
whatever?
Yeah.
So
And
whether got the tickets and then...
Either they're getting the tickets using software,
Bots,
bots or whatever
bots,
it is
yeah.
that they're called, and then they're reselling them, or whether they just cast the net and they're selling tickets prior to them getting them, knowing that they're going to get them because the software's working in the background. I don't know. But it's absolutely corrupt. And I can't believe that there are ticket companies out there absolutely fleecing normal concert goers, people who are really into the music, just to sell them back on at, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10 times ticket value. It's ridiculous.
Mark, did you get any parking, though?
Did
Did you get it, eh?
Yeah. I got a parking spot just next to the tout that I'm going to go and have words with.
But did
no,
you...
so I honestly, I was absolutely livid. Absolutely livid that there were people on there already selling tickets at ridiculously inflated prices. I mean, how can that even be legal?
Well, as it happens, it is legal.
Well, I know it's legal,
it shouldn't be,
but it's
though.
morally
It's not
wrong.
right.
And
It's not
I
right.
think that, promoters, event organisers, ticket companies, there needs to be some better control.
I
think
completely agree.
it's wrong that somebody wants a ticket and is prepared to pay, the price that, and they're not cheap to start with. You were talking 90 quid a ticket, there or thereabouts. So, but then for somebody to snap them up with the whole purpose to sell them on at 3 and 4 times, it's not fair.
It's not
not fair.
So I can tell you that I researched this quite a while back because when it was round about just before Glastonbury, I can't remember what concert it were now. We were looking at going to one. Gemma tried to get tickets, couldn't get tickets, and I had the exact same frustration as you. And you know what I'm like. If I'm not happy about something, I research it. And when I did that, I found quite a lot of information, and one of them was the Competition and Markets Authority. They did an investigation that found that in 2019, £350 million of ticket sales were from the secondary market. This was news to me. So when you go and buy a ticket from whoever it is that sells tickets, whatever promoter it is, they're classed as the primary market, and then you've got the secondary market, and the secondary market is in some instances is a bigger market than the primary market.
Absolutely, and it's the whole purpose, isn't it, from setting up in the first
what
place?
infuriates me is that so the artist that's doing the concert and the promoter that's putting the staging on and everything else, they earn the least money, but the person that's just got a bot to buy all these tickets and they're selling them on for 5 times the price, they're earning the most money.
Absolutely,
have it all, and that's the same investigation showed that only 50%, it was exactly 50% of the ticket sales are secondary market opposed to primary.
There's only one way around it, as far as I'm concerned, and it, maybe not to the length and breadth of what they do at Glastonbury with the registration, the photo. You know, you've got to go through a really, it's a registration system
What was that for?
For Glastonbury.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't say you've necessarily got to go to that extent with photos and one thing and another.
But 100%.
But certainly, I think the named ticket holder must present ID. So, if you're buying 4 tickets, for example, for you and your family, or for you and 3 mates, whatever, the one of the people presenting a ticket must be the named, a named.
And what would be the problem with a photo? Why not?
Well, I'm not saying there would be a problem, but I'm saying, but as a minimum, if they said, right, you bought 4 tickets, you have to be present with the 3 people, and all 4 of you are going in for entry. But you've got you're named on your ticket, you take your ID. I think that's certainly a start.
So do you both know how Glastonbury ticketing works?
Yeah.
I've got an idea. Mark touched on it.
No.
So, basically, prior to tickets going on sale, you have to register to even apply for a ticket.
In fact,
It's almost like a lottery to some extent, isn't it, in getting tickets?
Yeah.
But I know you're registering. Every so often you have to renew your registration.
Yeah.
And I got one of those.
I can't remember how many years it is, but
you recently had to sort of register for next year's Glastonbury? Or is it coming up in the next couple of months?
No, they redid. I think they redid their registration policy maybe 2 years ago, and so now every year they're reiterating that if you haven't re-registered in the last amount of time, you've got to re-register. You can't use your old. I
meant for tickets for for next year's Glastonbury. You have already have to register for your interest in them.
Yeah. Well, not already. You've got to register by the time the tickets go on sale.
But I think the likes of what Ed Sheeran does, he invokes some sort of, you must present ID to show that you are one of the people, or certainly the person that bought the tickets. And I remember it was only probably, it might be 3 or 4 years ago now, and he was doing a gig for the Teenage Cancer Trust, and there was a woman, and she'd obviously not read the T's and C's. I think it was on eBay or some sort of third-party ticketing website. I think she paid something like £2,300 for a pair of tickets. She got to the door and got turned away. Rightly so, I suppose. As far as the rules are concerned, she was mortified because she was like, "What do you mean? I paid £2,000 for these tickets?" Well, I'm sorry, but you're being ripped off by one of these companies that shouldn't have done what they were doing, and it's the only way around it. I
wonder what they were getting by saying you shouldn't buy one of these tickets. Was the ticket not legit or valid? I don't get what.
No, because the Teenage Cancer Trust, the gig is quite an intimate, and I don't know if it's not invite only, but. You get tickets and you're the named person, I think, to get entry.
I'm with you.
And you can't. The resale is not allowed.
Right.
And this woman had paid £2,000 or whatever.
That, from my understanding, is the only.
It's the only way.
It's the only actual way they get out of it. So you're allowed to sell tickets, resell them, and you won't be blacklisted or denied your tickets cancelled, basically, for that gig. But unless it states in the terms and conditions when you buy the ticket that you cannot resell, and there's another policy as well on it that's something like that. The wording of it also has to be fair. We know the laws and stuff and the way they word it, but ultimately, why would they not all just put that in place then? Why would they not all put in their terms and conditions
I've no
that you
idea.
can't resell and you
And
can't...
I think this is half the frustration. There is nobody can provide.
Well, I've got a slight theory on it because... So my thought is, what if they know they can only charge a certain amount... Realistically, they can only charge a certain amount on the actual primary market, yeah? So when you first come on, we can't really get away with selling a ticket for more than 100 quid. All right, well, then let's put them on for £100. But then the same promoter then goes to the secondary market and says, I'll give you 1,000 of them tickets.
You think this is happening?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm saying.
I think there was an instance where there was a ticket company that also owned a subsidiary that was doing exactly that.
Yeah, I've read on numerous occasions about there have been many investigations about this sort of thing, but I'm not sure this has happened. That's why I'm saying it's just a theory of mine. But what if these companies are saying, right, there's 1,000 tickets. You can these tickets are £350 each, but you'll get 1,000 for them on eBay, or what was that one you said? Viagogo. When I first saw that the other day, I genuinely thought it said Viagra Go, and then came up with the tagline, "That's a hard sell." I was looking at it going, Viagra Go? Why would they?
Yeah, I think there are methods of people moving. If you can't attend a gig, there are methods of moving tickets around. On sites like Twickets or whatever, where you can't sell for above face value. And I just think that 90% of people who have bought a ticket are going to be going to the gig. You will get some people that, for one reason or another, don't end up being able to attend for whatever reason. But the amount of tickets that are getting lost in this secondary market is just ridiculous.
You see, my thoughts are with this is that you're completely right what you're saying, and it's completely shambolic, the system how it works. Government don't want to get involved in it too much. I think Rob touched on it earlier. They've done some sort of investigation into the complaint. The commission. Rob, what was that department you were referring to earlier? The
Competition and Markets Authority.
Yeah,
CMA.
they looked into it and thought, hang on, this is a bit of a hot potato. However, my thoughts on it, and it's going to be a bit controversial, is I think they should get completely rid of the resale market altogether. So Viagogo, Ticketmaster, get rid of them all. And what should happen is the promoter should have full control over the tickets.
Yeah.
Now, okay, you're going to have instances where people have bought tickets. Oh, I can't go. All that simply should happen is you resell it back to the promoter.
Yes.
You get a full refund. Obviously, you've got to have terms and conditions in that. You can't be selling it day before, things like that. And okay, there's a risk that you might buy a ticket and you might not be able to go. But let's say let's say that the cut-off point's like 2 weeks or whatever, then it's going to be a little bit better. But I think that it's just a complete Wild West. It's a mess. There's too much money being made from these companies, and they're very unscrupulous. How they make the money, the systems, how they work. I mean, Mark touched on to with Ed Sheeran. He's a real fighting force for this. He's trying to completely overhaul the system altogether, and how he does things is completely different.
I mean, I think what you just said, mate, I completely agree with. But if it was a fair playing field, then all right, there's an argument for it. But the fact that you've already said it, bots and software that are able to purchase these tickets quicker than we can do it,
that's the
whatever.
problem.
And the fact that is illegal, bots and software is illegal to use. The only problem is that only if those tickets can be proved they were for resale.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you've got these bots, they wouldn't. If you were only buying the tickets from the promoter, right? Then okay, you've still got your bot, but why would you be buying 100 tickets? Because you can't resell them.
Yeah, well, that's
That's where the software comes in, because they do put limits in, particularly for that gig. It was 4 tickets per person.
Yeah.
When you've got software running, they're just running rings round the system, aren't they?
It bypasses that, and that's what forms part of the law. Yeah. The law doesn't just state that it's illegal if you're selling them.
I think it was something like, I don't know, it was 25 to 10 or whatever, and there were people on social media, they've sold out this, which was expected. But you were still in queues, and there were still like 10,000 people in front of you in the queue. So were those people that were unaware that they'd sold out, or were they bots?
Well, this goes back to what I'm saying.
How can there still be a queue with 10,000 people in if there's nothing to buy?
Well, this is the problem with if they go back to just put the promoter selling the tickets, you wouldn't have these companies like Ticketmaster or Viagogo. They wouldn't have bots because they're going to go, well, okay, we can buy 10,000 tickets, but what are we going to do with them? Because we cannot resell them.
Yeah.
You won't buy something if you can't.
No.
What if I said to you, I can offer you 100 tickets for Taylor Swift? You're going to go, great, they're worth, I don't know, £20,000, but I can't resell them. I can't resell them, Mark.
Yeah.
So why would you buy them off me?
Well,
therefore, you wouldn't have these bots buying the tickets in the first place.
Absolutely.
So it would be genuine people like Mark on the computer queuing. There would be no bots because. Okay, they could get them.
And, you know, and
if
you
can't sell them.
if you don't get a ticket, you don't get a ticket. But at least you're not seeing people trying to sell them on, or knowingly, you know, you're seeing these other websites selling them at ridiculously increased prices while you're still queuing, hoping to get one.
I've got something to say that might throw a bit of a spanner in the works.
Are you still here, Kirk?
Oh, eh?
I am, and I've been sat listening to you all and very passionate, so I don't know whether to say this and run.
I don't think you're going to be running anywhere.
That's very true. That's very true. Okay, I agree with what you're saying, but I think we may differ on who we blame.
Right. I think I know where this is going. By the way, I'm not. I'll let you carry on.
I know. Obviously, I've listened to what you guys are saying about ticketers this, promoters this, and websites this, and resale websites. I blame the consumer.
Yeah.
I blame us.
If I said dodgy box, would I be round about the line that you're going down?
The what?
A dodgy box.
Yeah. So we as a consumer, if nobody was buying these tickets at enhanced rates and higher than face value, then people wouldn't do it. But
that doesn't make it right. If you can create enough of a hype around something, you will get people to buy something in excess of what they would normally buy, certainly normally pay.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when we start pointing the fingers, that sometimes we're very quick to point the fingers outwards. And actually, if we want to make a difference, if we want to make a change, sometimes we have to look in a mirror. And I don't just mean us sat round here now, I just mean the consumer in general. Everyone complains about the high street going under, but yet they're complaining about it while in between on the social media ordering stuff from Amazon. Yeah? You've got to see that people are part of the problem. And we can point those fingers at Viagogo or Ticketmaster or promoters or websites or whatever we want to do. Because they're the ones with the money and they're the ones with the, the size and X, Y, and Z.
There's a difference between a company online selling something, their own products or other people's products at the, reduced prices or whatever prices they're selling them at. You've got a choice to do so. When you've got companies stepping in and effectively clearing stock, if you like, of something that is in real short demand, high demand but short supply, and to sell on for ridiculous prices, that mechanism shouldn't exist.
But they're only getting away with it because people are paying it.
They're only getting away with it because it's not being controlled, and it needs
regulation.
It needs regulation.
Absolutely.
I think that is just literally it's a too easy answer to everything.
In which case,
we can't control. Hold on. What we're basically saying is, as a human race, as a consumer, what you're basically saying is we can't control ourselves, so therefore somebody else needs to control them for us.
Well, yeah, in a way, that's how society works.
Yeah,
we've all. Nobody wants to be controlled or regulated, but if we're not, there's literally going to be a free for all.
Yeah.
Everything.
Where do you draw the line?
You draw the line in that if something is for sale for a particular product or whatever, that somebody shouldn't be able to go and completely remove, that supply to sell it for such a ridiculously inflated price. That should be illegal, because that's taking something out of your, the potential of you being able to get something for yourself, for your child, or whatever, to say, well, you really want that, dear, for that price? I'm sorry, you can't have it because I'm buying them all, and then if you want one, you can pay 5 times the price.
But I know I'm expanding the what we're talking about here a little bit, but in a capitalist society, is it not all about supply and demand? Is that not what drives capitalism? Are you saying I work in hotels, right?
You're gonna have limits.
Yes, I understand where you say you've got to have limits, right? But at what point do you draw the line with something? So, like, I work in hotels. Yeah, my hotel has X amount of bedrooms. We set the price. If that hotel is empty, the price for that room is set at a certain price. Tends to be a bit lower. As we sell more rooms, guess what happens to the price of the rooms that are left?
They go down.
Yeah, that's what people think.
Supply and demand, isn't it?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Right?
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
The less rooms available,
Price goes up.
right? To a point where if you've got an event on in the area, yeah, you're next to a football ground or you're next to a concert or whatever it is, yeah, a room that last week you paid £80 for or £100 for, that's the only room left in that area. If you want that room, it's now going to cost you £400.
Well, we're going to get into another topic now, because I do know of situations where hotels have been cancelling booked rooms when an event's come on, to then put them back on them. That should be illegal as well.
Well, I just want to chip in there. I understand completely your point, Kurt, but let me put it this way, right? So let's say that you've got an event on, right, and I decide, me personally, to, I don't know, get 20 rooms from your hotel, and then I'm stood outside reselling those rooms at an inflated price. Now, are you going to say that's okay, or are you going to say it's not? Because that's what's happening with the tickets.
Well,
somebody's buying loads of tickets, or in your case, hotel rooms, and then literally going outside and selling them for even more.
I'm going to say that I've decided what I'm going to sell them rooms at. You want to buy them and sell them on, that's your right.
Okay.
And if you've got somebody that's then silly enough to buy that room off you for £1,000 or £2,000 or £3,000, good for you.
That's fine. I know that doesn't happen in the real world.
But then it comes down to morality and fairness.
However, if I continually did that every single day, week in, week out, year in, year out, at some point, you or somebody from the hotels are going to be walking out to me going, you can't do this.
No, I wouldn't. I'd just be putting my prices up.
I was just about to say, at what point does, and this is both the same for hotels or ticketers, the primary market, at what point did they say, right, you know what, they're prepared to pay that, get it up.
Well,
add 200 quid
that's
on
what I was
price
going to say.
because they're going to pay for it.
If Ticketmaster would have released those tickets on Friday at 300 quid a ticket, they wouldn't have sold out. They wouldn't have sold out.
I
think eventually they would have.
I think eventually
they would have. I think maybe not as quick, and maybe people would have been a bit quicker to jump on X, formerly known as Twitter.
How many people did you say it held? 7,000?
12,500.
12 and a half, and you were 24,000 in queue, and you'd only been on 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So, the maths wise, they'd have sold in the same time as they sold.
Bearing in mind, some of those tickets were on sale from 50 odd quid.
You see, there is an element.
You got your cheap seats, if you like, at 54, 56 quid, whatever they were. Standing was 84, I think. And then obviously you got Viagra selling tickets at 300, which, you know, you're taking opportunities out of people who, you know, they're working hard, they're seeing something come around and think, do you know what, this is going to be fantastic. Take my kid, whatever. And then, you know, the opportunity is removed. But hang on a second, you can pay 300 quid a ticket if you want or afford. Well, like them, you know, it's not on.
I don't think it's on. I mean, there is an element. I mean, we've all got fair points. There is an element of the toilet roll COVID pandemic thing. It's when you think back to the
you weren't paying £300 for toilet roll, were you?
I know, but some people were rushing in there buying toilet. It's element of human nature of people were buying toilet rolls because everybody else was buying toilet rolls. So there was this demand for toilet rolls when in reality we didn't need to do that. There was no shortage of toilet rolls, and that's what happens with the tickets.
So let me just break it down a bit further then, okay? So let's ignore the box thing, for instance, because in all fairness, that is a different argument about somebody wiping out 100, 200, 300 tickets in one go because you can't physically do that. Yeah. Okay, so let's just park that a second, all right? I want to see where this line of fairness and morality is that you want to regulate, all right? I'm not a massive fan of regulation, okay, if you haven't noticed, right? But so I go on that website, I queue like everybody else, but I'm lucky enough to get on. I'm lucky enough to get a ticket, all right? And I pay £60 for that ticket.
Did you get any parking with it?
Okay. It's funny, I couldn't find the option for parking.
Well, that's smart. He's got the options, all of them, on one screen.
So I pay £60 for that ticket. Am I wrong then for in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, that I noticed that people are saying, anyone got any tickets for this? Anyone got any tickets? Anyone got any tickets? I'm not that bothered about going, really. I thought I might be. Not really bothered. Don't really care. Sorry, what? You're willing to pay me £300 for this ticket? Not a problem at all. There you go. Thank you very much.
So I think that option should just be removed. I don't think that should even be part of the discussion.
I agree with.
So
I agree with Mark.
that wouldn't exist. And I agree with where you're thinking. If you've got something and someone says, look, I really need one of those, or I really want a ticket, whatever, and I'm prepared to pay X, and your head might turn and you go, do you know what, actually? And that's what drives the market. So that option needs removing in that, right, if you can't go, and I think this comes back to the original ticket seller, we need to substantiate why it is you can't attend. And generally speaking, it's going to be less than 10% of the people that buying tickets that can't attend a gig.
So
I would say.
So you believe that if you go to an auction, when something's being auctioned, once it hits its value, the auction should stop.
We're not at an auction.
Well, no.
We're buying tickets at a
No.
ticket price.
We can't. No, what I'm saying is what you're talking about is the fairness and morality of things being regulated, right? Now, what we're saying is whether it's tickets, whether it whatever it is, I'm talking about the fact that that's being created by supply and demand, okay? Or it's being created by how much is something worth, whatever somebody is willing to pay for it.
People exploiting the market. It's wrong.
It
And
is
in
wrong.
that respect, you could draw the line at anything and say, well, I'll tell you what, somebody who's ludicrously rich enough could go out and wipe out the entire market of a particular something that everybody needed, and then charge you a premium for it. It's wrong.
I mean, I agree with Mark on this. I think the market itself, when it comes to tickets for concerts and things on this, it should be completely different from other things like toilet rolls and whatever, or hotel rooms, because of the market. Because you're in such a small. I know some arenas are massive, but we're talking a one-off show. We're not talking hotel rooms, which there's thousands of them in this country. We're talking about, say, Elton John doing one concert on this one night. So that should be the ticket price is the ticket price. And I don't think, like my Mark, I don't think that you should be buying tickets purposely. There's a difference here. We say if you can't make you buy a ticket and you can't make it, that's slightly different. But purposely buying tickets, i.e., these companies via bots, and then purposely selling them on as a high demand. Yeah, there's going to be a demand for them. There's going to be a demand because there's none left, because poor Mark can't get one because this bot's bought 3,000 of them. Something's not quite right there. That's just not right. The system is broken, and I don't think it's fair.
Am I right in thinking that Viagra Go, or whatever it is called...
Do you really want to get some of those?
It's an hard sell.
Yeah. I'm guessing these were created for people that, sadly, I can't make that concert anymore. Therefore, this is a direct place where I can go and buy the ticket from.
You'd like to think so.
I'm going to say, is that how they came about? Or did they actually just go, there's a market here for this, I think?
Well,
probably a bit of both,
a bit of both. I think they started off probably like that.
There are some,
and then thought, hang on, we can make some money.
Yeah, there are some good ones out there, aren't there? Like I mentioned earlier, Twickets, where, you can't sell it for more than face value. You can, if it gets close to the gig, make me an offer, and if I need to move the ticket on for whatever reason, my car's brought down to the end, I can't get there or whatever, and I think there's an element of, if people are doing that, it's a genuine reason for resale, but
I'll go back to what I was saying earlier about Glastonbury. The way that they do it, for me, it's
foolproof.
It's the be all and end all of ticket sales,
there
right? It's so straightforward.
And they've done it for that exact reason.
Yeah, because they know how many people want to attend that event, and that it only happens once it happens once a year for, is it 3 years?
Yeah,
and then they have a year off,
furlough,
or 4 years, whatever.
Furlough.
And the fact that you have to register with a picture of your face. I can't remember if you have to put. I don't think.
Is it not your
passport
face?
and driving numbers? There's something. I'm sure it was more than just a picture and your name, address, everything. But basically enough that they can see that's you. That's supposedly your address and whatever else, because it has more than one effect. That is that when you're then in the festival and anything happens, any trouble happens or anything, your wristband that you're wearing has your ticket number on, if you like. Your ticket number has all your information on it, so they've got details about everybody that's in that thing. But I've gone.
So who pays for all that admin work?
well, you do in your ticket price.
So what you're saying is that you'd rather see something like that be in place and ticket prices go up?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I see that.
So and then how they do it is, as you might be aware, they have the first round of ticket sales, and obviously you've got to be registered, so you're pre-registered with your picture on. Now, when I bought them for me, Gemma, and the brother and sister-in-law. And if I wanted to buy their tickets for them, I had to have their registration number, their postcode. I think that was it. I think that's all I needed. But I had to have that just to buy them a ticket. So every ticket I bought, I had to put their registration number in and everything else, and that's how I bought their tickets.
That's such a fair system, though. Is that not how it should be?
Absolutely.
Do you not think?
And then, if you then decide, I can't go now, the ticket, you let Glastonbury know, I can't attend now, and they go, thanks for letting us know. They remove the ticket off you and they put it back in their sale, but you can't buy it at that point. They then have a resale date, which is, again, fair for everybody. At this time, on this date, tickets will go back on sale for any that have been reclaimed, and you go again. Now, I don't really know how it works after that sale time, because I guess for Glastonbury, they're all going to sell. But let's just say people like a concert that might be literally a day before saying, I can't go now, I can't go. But still, if that ticket, the promoter that's selling the tickets, they've got a box office, a physical box office, so that if you say, I managed to get them up to the day before the event or on the day of that morning, then you're going to go and you queue, you queue at our physical box office to see if there's any tickets that's been not claimed. And all the money goes direct to the place where it started, for the same price that they were when it first started. Again, you might be paying a slightly inflated price because you wanted the insurance, if you like, that it's not going to get sold on by a third party, and the only person that's on that photograph is the one that's getting into that arena.
Well, let me ask you this question then. What's wrong with that system? Do you think that's fair?
No, I am 100% behind that. That's how it should be.
It just makes you wonder what sort of level of corruption there is between the ticket companies.
Exactly.
They want it to exist.
So,
yeah.
Like what you said earlier, that they might be banking 1,000 tickets, knowing that they've got a subsidiary lined up, that these are gonna fly out. We've got 12,500. We've only actually got 11.5 because these 1,000 are going out on 300 quid a chuck.
If I could just to give you some insight into this, and you'll like this one, Kirk. So Michael Jackson, the Final Curtain Call, right? Mm-hmm. Sold 750,000 tickets. The VIP tickets were sold for £900. Mm-hmm. They were official. But after general sale, the aftermarket price for that ticket was £28,780 for that ticket.
Did someone buy it?
It was sold. It was sold out, the whole thing.
And that's the problem.
But Kurt, did you not feel...
But that will always exist. So you can't say, well, that just is how it is because people are stupid. Well, no, because that doesn't fix the problem.
You can't keep saying that people are stupid, so therefore please somebody else look after it for me.
Well, no, because you've got people out there with ludicrous amounts of money that are prepared to sit back and go, do you know what, I can pay 300 quid a ticket. Your normal working man who wants to take his daughter or son or whatever to a gig can't get there because you've got people out there fleecing the working man.
Well, that's the thing, Kurt. Do you not feel priced out by that? I mean, I understand there's, obviously somebody's bought that ticket. Excuse me. I know someone who's bought that ticket, but do you not feel priced out for that? Do you not think that's unfair that you cannot buy a genuine ticket for its face value?
Yes, it's unfair.
So do you think that it should be just left at that, or do you think something should be done about it?
I think that we cross into very muddy waters when we talk about regulation in general. I think we've crossed very muddy waters, and I think that where it all regulation's fine to throw about and the word is fine to throw about when you're talking about specific things, but when you start breaking it down, and like I've done there today, where I've gone, well, where do we draw the line? What about this then? If we're going to regulate that, why don't we regulate this? And if we, blah, 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 it all of a sudden becomes, no, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Yeah? It's almost like a flat earther saying, no, we're not talking about the fact that we've seen pictures of the earth, right? We're not talking about that. We're going to talk about what fits my argument. And that's fine. But what I'm saying is that when we can talk all day long about what's fair and what's not fair. What I'm talking about is things like that is supply and demand. We live in a capitalist society. While ever people are buying it, people are going to keep selling them.
Absolutely. I agree that they will.
Okay,
that mechanism just needs removing.
okay, so we've got the Glastonbury system, which works perfectly fine. Why can we not incorporate all that?
It's the cost, I suppose,
into
isn't
it.
And like
It's
you
the
said,
cost.
It is the cost.
It's the cost, and again, you don't know where the corruption runs in terms of between companies. You know,
Yeah,
But
but
what-
you
when
can
you say
always
it's
run
the
that
cost-
risk of that. But if we have a system like they do at Glastonbury in the complete industry of the ticket market, then and regulate it in some way and go, right, this is the system we've got, this is how we're going to do it, then surely we would eradicate all that problem.
I mean,
Because we've got
and
that
when you
system
say
in
the
place.
cost, where is that cost coming
Well,
from?
there's always a processing cost. If you're having to a point where you're having to apply for tickets and apply for a lottery system, there's got to be something in the background running that. There's got to be something. Then you've got the fact of the emails being sent out. What does that look like? Is it codes? Is it whatever to get you in? Then the fact that you're uploading a photo. The photo's got to be. Now, yes, I know you're going to sit there and say, yeah, but Kirk, they've got software and stuff like
We
that
say
to do
it's
that.
all-
But it's still a cost that's not there with something else.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether that's developing the software, whether it's running the software, whether it's buying the software from somebody else, whatever it is a cost. Now, fair play, in all fairness, I asked you who should front that cost. You said us. So therefore, pass the cost on to the person buying the ticket. Instead of the ticket being £100, it's £140. Or £130, £120,
even 110.
Whatever that is, £110, £115. But the way that you're buying your ticket means nobody's going to be ripped off, priced out the market, fleeced, this, that, other.
It's how it should be.
I have absolutely no issue with that.
Yeah.
I'm being genuine when I say it. I have absolutely no issue with a promoter, an event organizer, or whatever coming up with a way of making it more fair. What I'm saying is that we start crossing into a different realm and a different line when we go, right, they're not willing to do it, they don't want to do it, so therefore we need to look for external regulation about that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get
Well,
get
if they
that.
can't self-regulate themselves, like a lot of industries are supposed to self-regulate themselves, and when they can't, that's when governments need to step in and go, look, you can't do this. So, like with the ticket situation, the government's been very reluctant to step in to sort this out. They're very aware that it's a problem, but they're very reluctant to step in. And fine, I understand that, but the industry itself will not self-regulate themselves because they're making too much money out of it. And they're going, well, what's the problem? Well, there is a problem. They need to do something, and the Glastonbury model is a good example of what they can do.
That's like blaming the guy that blows his entire wages on a roulette machine. Well, it's your fault you're gambling. No.
Well, if they can't self-regulate,
the mechanism needs controlling.
If they can't self-regulate, then the government then needs to step in and
Absolutely.
say, right, we're going to change the law. This is what it's going to be. I mean, they're giving them a chance, and they're not doing it. So,
Just sidestepping slightly, as we were talking about music industry and concerts, do you think there's a demand these days for more concerts, or a demand within the industry for their artists to perform more live concerts due to the fact that music sales are significantly lower than
that's the only way they make money now.
That's
isn't it?
where they make the most of the money.
That's what I
in
understood.
tours and concerts.
And I feel like you can see it. Like Ed Sheeran finished a tour what felt like 12 months ago, and he's back on tour next year.
You've only got to look at the explosion of festivals. Almost every town and city has got a something fest.
Yeah.
Or a full-blown festival, something fest. It's just, the market is absolutely, and great, absolutely fantastic. You can get out and see live music and possibly go in and see artists that you might not think you'd ever get to see because they were performing 20 or 30 years ago. They're out doing this stuff again. The music industry, as far as I can see, certainly the live music industry, is absolutely buzzing.
Well, and is that again? Is it a what's the word?
Bless you.
Bless you. Is it a the word's just gone completely out of my head.
You're not good with words. Now,
No,
are
I'm
you?
not.
It's
I'm
that
not really,
sneeze
am
that's
I?
done it.
It's blown his brains out. That sneeze.
Hot topic.
What are you thinking,
Oh
Bob?
my gosh.
Come on, give us a clue.
Yeah.
The word of the moment. It's just at this moment. It's popular. But what's the word I wanted to use?
Current, popular.
Vibe.
Yeah.
Hop.
Oh,
Vibrant.
God, it's going to annoy me now. The word. It's such a simple word. That I was
Buzzword.
trying to find.
I want to just think of a
Buzzword.
word just to wind you up.
No, don't.
Fragrance.
Oh gosh.
Viagra.
Viagra. Bubble.
When
See, I like the
something-
word
when-
bubble.
where something's only people are only doing it because it's, oh my god,
Fashionable.
Fashionable. I'll go with that one.
Trendy.
Trendy. Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
Still not the word, though, is it?
It's not.
It's not.
It's
but,
not,
but
is
listen,
it? It's not, is it, Rob? Though?
It's
It's
not.
not, is
It's
it?
not. But listen, the word that you come up with there is enough for me. The point I'm getting at is it because festivals have become popular and fashionable that actually, I want to go to a festival. They don't even like music. But they're going for the festival just for the festival.
I think it's more than that. I think more and more people are becoming aware to the fact that live music is so accessible, and your festivals, your smaller festivals, even your local towns that are doing a something fest. I mean, Asken, for example, at Doncaster, they've got their own festival. You know, they're popping up all over, and they don't have to be massive. So I think the fact that they know the demand's there. People will go out and buy tickets, and if you're offering camping, people can go from anywhere in the country to go and see an act that they want to see that they might not have seen for 20 years, because you're getting acts that are coming back out doing the greatest hits stuff. It's absolutely buzzing.
Could Noel Gallagher bring a greatest hits album out and it'd be exactly the same as Liam's?
Well,
how do they stand with that?
This is the thing, and this is the $1 million question.
Yeah, that's right.
$20 million.
You're good with words, Mark. Have a word with Rob.
I know. Noel Gallagher doesn't sing a lot of the songs that Liam Gallagher sings. Obviously, Noel Gallagher wrote most of them. But you need the frontman, and Liam Gallagher is the frontman. Noel Gallagher's doing high flying bird stuff, and and he does some of the Oasis numbers. They're a bit more middle of the road. But when you want rock and roll, you need Liam Gallagher at the front. So they need to get back together.
I was just going to say, do you think it'll happen?
Yes.
Oh.
I think that 2025 will be the big one.
You think so?
Absolutely. I think, because that'll be the 30th anniversary, What's the Story?
And
which, in my opinion, is the greatest album ever written. And I think that they can then bounce off the back of the Definitely Maybe, do them both. And
how much would you pay for one of them tickets?
Well, if I'm paying face value, I've already said if I'm paying face value and it is Oasis, I'll pay whatever the ticket price is.
I mean,
but what I won't have is my opportunity removed by somebody thinking that they can fleece me for it.
I'd just wait and watch it on TV because it'll be televised.
Oh.
It's that big.
So hold on. Sorry, I've got to ask this question. I know I don't want to just be that person, but I know how much you would want to go to that gig. I know how much you love Oasis. I know how much you love the live music, the atmosphere, everything about it. It'd be, it'd be your Glastonbury for what people would say. And let's say the face value tickets came out for, let's face it, they could get maybe 150 quid. Let's just say, for argument's sake.
I think that'd be really cheap by all
Oh,
accounts.
that'd be very cheap.
All right, but let's just say 150 and go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go on, you try and get it, you don't get one, and you get the chance to pay 200. Are you paying for that ticket?
On secondary market.
Be careful what you answer here, Mark.
Yeah. So I know exactly where you're going with this, and you could trip me up. So.
Oh no, I'm not doing it to trip you up.
No.
I'm doing it to try and prove where I'm coming from.
Absolutely, and that's where the demand is. But that mechanism should be. If somebody can't attend, you buy a ticket, you decide you can't go. And you want to fleece me out. You want to fleece me out an extra 50 quid, then. We'll call it mates.
450
I have a question
quid.
for you, Mark. So, of course, as you know, Liam and Noel don't get on. So, what do you think will get them back together? If you think they're going to get, because you do think they're going to get back together in 2025, because
they'll effectively be printing their own money.
But surely they've already been offered.
They have.
Well, they have.
They have
A lot of
They
millions.
have. And part of me is thinking, are they just, whilst this is going on, they're creating their own hype. They're creating the hype. And the buzz, the anticipation, particularly when Liam does this next year, people will be going to these gigs. And I was half thinking, what if he pops out for the last number on every, or even he doesn't, and he just pops up at Manchester, which is the last gig. I think they've added a couple of extra.
If he can get a ticket, that is.
Well,
in the audience.
If Noel was to walk out on the last number of the last gig and go out.
But they
and then get ready because Nebworth is on, or whether they take over the Etihad for 2 months or whatever. You know,
The problem with that though is that they wouldn't want to show up at the last because they're both very showmen. I mean, Liam's more than Noel, yes, but they wouldn't want to just.
I mean,
you know,
maybe I'm romanticising it. Maybe it wouldn't.
You
work
are,
like
I think
that.
you are.
Maybe it won't work like that. But what I'm saying is, if after the hype of that tour, they announced that they're doing a reunion. You're right there, Rob.
Yeah,
And another question I've got for you. So this I won't say hatred, but this dislike that they have for each other. Do you think that's always been genuine? Do you think it's?
Yeah,
do you think it's Simmons?
It's definitely been genuine. I mean, they split up through it. They
exactly.
They didn't finish a gig for it.
So do you think it's simmered down since for
not-
enough to get them back together? Because I've watched interviews with them separately.
I'm not sure. I reckon
and
there'll be an element of right. You need to put your big boy pants on and let's talk money.
Yeah, but I don't think they would.
Time at the bar, please.
Anyway, enough for Oasis. What I want to know: are Hanson going to do another tour?
Oh,
Bob.
And on that note,
Yeah, I guess so, guys. Thanks again.
See you later, boys.
I'll see you next
see you
week,
later, boys.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Do you have a dilemma? Maybe a burning question you're longing to be answered? Who are you going to call? Well, no one, but just drop us a voice note or a message over email at innthechat@gmail.com. That's 2 N's, not 1 N, because 1 N would... It doesn't matter. Innthechat@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.